Hey everyone, it's James at geometriccharts.com. This is October 1st, about 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We got the 4-hour chart of Bitcoin, BTC, USD on the Bitfinex exchange. So first of all, let me say it's not investment advice. Second of all, the last video I published was talking about a weak rally. I do believe we are in the midst of a weak rally. I do have this black line set, dark gray line set, whatever color you want to call it. It's just showing the selling pressure in this market. Sellers are in control of the market. Not only does the line set show it, but the series of lower highs show it. The lack of follow through in the volume, meaning that volume is washing out within 24 to maybe 48 hours maximum. It's just showing that there is, to me, more sellers than buyers, or whoever is pumping this market up is only willing to move to a certain level, and then beyond that they're quickly exiting the market because the trade is already starting to work against them, and it's clearly working against them at these levels. Yes, they're able to kind of poke it up a little higher and higher, but the drops are getting pretty deep every single time. So pretty dramatic drops up and down, some crazy whipping action. There's a lot of back and forth in this market, but at the end of the day, price is trekking higher. Okay, the indicators look pretty weak, like the RSI, the stochastics, and so forth. At the same time, the volume that's coming in, or that was coming in during these pumps, has all been washed out. We're now barely hanging on to 4 billion in 24-hour transactions. And this is just something I've seen in the past time and time again. And everyone's like, James, you're so bearish on this market, blah, blah, blah. But it's like the same things keep reoccurring over and over and over again. And I just want to be bearish. I mean, I want to be bullish on this market, but I have to be bearish. Like, there's no choice. There's no choice but to be skeptical of these moves, especially when I keep seeing the same things come over and over and over again. So now what's going to change my mind is if Bitcoin can trek above about the 6,900 level and actually stay above that level. I don't want to see this crap that we've seen in the past. You know, this crap that you see here, obviously, this thing back here. And it seems like that's where we are in Bitcoin. It seems like it's trying to move, and it's just coming into a very, very tough time. Now, the question is if we break through here, will we actually hold on to that volume? If we do and price starts trekking higher, I do think we could see about 6,900, maybe 70,000 or 7,000. Not 70,000. God, what am I, John McAfee? But anyway, so I could see those levels potentially occurring in Bitcoin if it's able to sustain moving upward. But we clearly do have a support line right here that Bitcoin is using. Once these buyers step down and give up, that's it. This market's going to drop out. And one thing I've noticed in Bitcoin is that these prior drops have become more severe and faster in nature. So you just got to be very, very careful. You have to have an investment strategy. While I do think that we still are within that weak rally, and all I mean is that basically the market's being propped up for big money to sell into. And that's something I've seen time and time again, and that's why you see this collapse occur, because that big money is stepping out. Whoever's propping the market up is stepping out. They are removing themselves, and when they do that, there are not enough guppies in this pond to sustain it. When that whale gets out, that's it. Market's over. So again, it's like riding almost like a tightrope on, like, 100 or whatever, 1,000-foot skyscraper. Like you're crazy high in the air, to where if you fall off, that's it. It's the end of you. You have to be very careful. You have to be cautious. That's all I see in this market, is a market trying to pump up, pump and dump. And I just can't change my mind about it. So if we start breaking through that level, and we start holding above it, and there's a new set of buyers that are willing to hang around, meaning that maybe we'll start trading like 6, 7, 8 billion in 24-hour transactions, that money actually starts staying there, I'll start to change my mind in this market. And it's not about volume. It's not about, like, I don't pay attention too much to volume, especially in other assets outside of cryptocurrency. But one thing I've noticed in this market is that volume, watching it wash in and out, has never, ever been a good sign from what I have seen in the past watching this market. So I do pay attention to it in Bitcoin and the cryptos as well. And it looked like earlier today they were ready to nosedive off a cliff, but magically everything got saved yet once again. So I think the pump is still on for Bitcoin and the cryptos, but eventually when that music stops, there's going to be a dump, and that dump, I do believe, is going to bust out this support line, because I think this is the final pump before these buyers remove themselves. And when they do, I do think it's going to be a pretty dramatic drop. Now, in Bitcoin, we do have a bear flag inside of a bear flag. We call this bear flag inception. That's never, ever really, I think there's only one bear flag on the entire chart that worked out well for Bitcoin. I don't even know where it is, but I remember going over them in a prior video. But anyways, one thing I know is when this market forms a bear flag, it's not a good sign at all. It never has been. I could be proven wrong. If we smash through 6,900, volume is there, everything's looking good. We start racing up to 7,400, breaking above that. I could definitely be wrong. And honestly, I'd love that, because I would just jump in on the next corrective move. But if Bitcoin kind of spikes up and all of a sudden it just can't sustain this area up here, then we're still within these bear flags. And guess what? When that thing comes down and that hammer gets dropped and we start looking like something like this, I think not only are we breaking down to the base of this area in the 6,000s, but we're going to well exceed it, busting out of not only the small bear flag, but the bigger bear flag formation on this chart. And I think that would be a very brutal and devastating move to the market, potentially bringing it down to about the 5,500 area, maybe 5,100 or so, like somewhere in the low to mid 5,000 range. But those are the two zones I'm looking at on Bitcoin. I'm either looking for a crazy nosedive off a cliff coming sometime soon, probably in the next couple of days, or we're going to continue on this pump, but this pump is going to be very weak, and each pump up will be sold into, and I do not expect the volume to change whatsoever, and I do expect a giant pump and dump. The only thing I need is the mainstream media to really hype this thing up. One of them already did. I think CNBC was saying that, you know, Bitcoin 7,000 in the near future. They said that, I think, on Friday it was. So again, you know, that kind of keeps me, it kind of confirms to me that there's a pump and a dump incoming in this market, but I think that's all it is. So anyways, if you like the video, you like the content, please like, comment, subscribe, follow. I'm hoping that after we do experience yet another drop, maybe we do blow out that 5,700 area, and then Bitcoin's allowed to find its bottom. Maybe it kind of bottoms out just a little bit, and then we can actually start to change direction. If not, maybe we just turn sideways. Like if we just went sideways for a couple months, that would be nice too. I would still look at that as bullish activity for Bitcoin. But if it's just this nonstop pump and dump, they're really just going to destroy the markets. And I already see that. I mean, look at it. It struggles to trade 4 billion in 24 hours. It's still a lot of money, don't get me wrong. But an asset that used to trade 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 billion in 24 hours, we've definitely dramatically dropped in this market across the board. So anyways, that's it. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your support. I will produce another video on Wednesday. Monday, Wednesday, Friday are the videos. If you do like the video, again, please like, comment, subscribe, follow. Again, I thank you for your time. Thank you for your support.